Good evening, I'm Coach Espelancer of the Dallas Staryu, and this is my team builder for Week 5 against the ShinRyu Pikachus, coached by Johan. Now I am either 1-3 right now, and I really need a win to stay competitive, or I'm 2-2, and I still really need a win so that I stay high in my divisional standings. But either way, this is a divisional rival, so we are going to bring everything that we've got to dispatch him. But let's get into his team. And ShinRyu Pikachus has Mega Charizard X, always a threat with that tough claws. We have a Zoomerl, probably wants to beat his belly. Superior, we have Gudra, who he calls Boss God, but I have better ideas. We got his Donphan. He's got his Jolteon, as opposed to my Bolt the Manectric. He's got Lucario. He's got Aerodactyl, that rockin' Aerodactyl. He's got these Doug Trios, which for some reason I'm facing yet again because he picked it up at a free agency after the Portland Crowbats dropped it. He's got that Exploud, also a recent acquisition out of free agency, as well as the Superior. And he's got Malamar, who's been liking to use quite a bit. So the Pokemon he's been bringing just about every week has been Mega Charizard X, which I have no doubt he'll bring again because it's a good matchup. Fire types are usually brought against me for some reason. He'll probably bring Gudra because it seems to be his favorite Pokemon. He uses a lot. He seems very comfortable with it. It also will stop Roserade, who has a fantastic matchup on his team with Sapsipper. He's probably going to be bringing the Jolteon as well because he feels it's his MVP, and yeah, he's also very comfortable using it. So I have no doubt I'll see those three. He's been liking Malamar. He might bring that. I think that Aerodactyl can probably put in work against me. I think he needs to bring Donphan because he'll need some kind of spinner. Lucario would be good, but I don't know if he'll bring it. But it will be good. I'm not sure about his Zoomerl Superior though. I don't think we'll see those, but he might. I have to be prepared for any eventuality, and I think I am. So my idea here is I identified 3 Pokemon that if I set up in the correct way, I can sweep the entirety of Johan's team. Or if I set up halfway correctly, I can punch holes for my next pair to sweep. So that is the idea, is I'm playing my Pokemon in pairs, and one offense and one support, so that I can break down this team eventually and hopefully walk away with a win with a good differential. It'll be nice if I can set up a sweep and just take out like a 5-0 or a 6-0 win. That would be nice. But let's get into what I have. So first pair starts with the support Pokemon of Slytherin the Scolipede. This one's got a Focus Sash. It's max attack, Jolly, with 168 speed so that I outspeed Mega Charizard X. I got the Protect in case I need to outspeed a Scarf or a Jolteon, Aerodactyl, or Superior, or anything else that could potentially be faster than me with a Scarf. But this thing's primary job is to set up Toxic Spikes. That is absolutely important to me. And I need to do this when Donphan is not around. Or I can set up the Toxic Spikes when Donphan comes in and try to get Donphan to take damage and possibly die. But Donphan spinning away the Toxic Spikes is not what I need. But I do need to set the Toxic Spikes for my offensive part of this pair. Then we have Mega Horn and Earthquake. If the Focus Sash, I'll either use the Focus Sash to set up Toxic Spikes, or I'll use it to get a revenge kill. Either way, that should work. But Toxic Spikes is the most important, because my next Pokemon is Mary Jane the Roserade. And Mary Jane here is modest max special attack, with 188 in speed and a Choice Scarf, and that is so that I am not outsped by a Choice Scarf Gudra. Or not a Choice Scarf Gudra, I can't outspeed that modest anyway. A Choice Scarf Exploud. A Choice Scarf Exploud. And yeah, the rest is peppered in HP, defense, and special defense, so I have an odd HP number and I don't waste any EVs. But the Toxic Spikes are important because of Venoshock. Venoshock is normally a 65 base power poison type move, but when my target is poisoned, it becomes a base 110, doubles its power. And that is enough to do 80% on Mega Charizard X. It's enough to do, it's enough to OHKO Superior. It does 80% to a Zoomerl. Now Gudra, Donphan, and Aerodactyl, and Lucario are stops to that. But I got Hidden Power Ice for those, in case it comes down to sweeping that part with Hidden Power Ice. And I'm running Technician so that my Hidden Power becomes base 90. I got Giga Drain, obviously, for his ground types because he's not going to switch in Dawn Fan, let's face it. So I feel pretty safe Venom Shocking. I got Dazzling Gleam because it hits things at least neutrally, and it's just a good all-around 4th move. Couldn't think of anything else really, but Dazzling Gleam. But I hope that Scarfed Togekiss, I hope that Scarfed Roserade Mary Jane can put in the finest of work. Really excited to use her for the first week in the PMC, and I'm hoping this is what gets me the sweep. That's the hope here, but we'll see. So next pair starts with a Mew that has no attack, so I really hope I don't get taunted. We're running max HP, special defense, a little bit of defense. We have a little speed so that people don't speed creep me, and then I got the 4 in special attack. Even though it's useless, the EV would be wasted anywhere else, in all honesty. But we are running Roost, Barrier, Amnesia, Baton Pass with a weakness policy. The idea is to get as many boosts as possible, especially those defensive boosts. I want to get 1 Barrier and 1 Amnesia because then I don't fear anything with the offensive side of this pair. But the hope is I can set up on Malamar. He's been bringing it a lot, been trying to sleep things, whatever. But that's a 55% accurate move. It's fine. I just want a Barrier, Amnesia, and Baton Pass it up into my offensive pair for this. But other things I could possibly get hit with are Shadow Balls from like Jolteon. Yeah, or knockoff from Azumarill. I could take all that, set up a Barrier or an Amnesia, and Baton Pass that out. And that is the hopes for Mew here. But the offensive part of this pair is none other than Hindenburg the Togekiss, who is running also a weakness policy so that I can try to get even more boosts. And stored power, because guess what? Mew doesn't get stored power. It's bullshit, I know, but Mew doesn't get stored power. We have Signal Beam so that I don't get walled by Malamar, because that would be embarrassing. We got Tailwind so that we can outspeed everything, because I can't Baton Pass speed plus boost, unfortunately. And we got Roost, in case I take too much damage. If I get defensive boost up, it's going to be really hard to take this thing down, so I can just Roost off extra, extra damage whenever I need to. Serene Grace, because Signal Beam has a 20% chance of confusing after that, and I thought that was better than the 16-point-something% chance of getting a crit with Super Luck. So, yeah, modest with max special attack, 164 in speed to outspeed Exploud, and the rest in HP and defenses. But stored power, just need +6. +6 sweeps, including the Malamar because of Signal Beam. Although I need +8 for Goodra if that Goodra is running a max special defense, max HP Assault Vest set, which is ridiculous. Usually don't see that on Assault Vest Goodra. Usually it's max HP with an Assault Vest and max special attack so it can hit things and be bulky. But going on to my next pair, starts with Gliscor. This thing is to Baton Pass Swords Dance into the offensive pair, really. We got the Yachi Berry, we're max, we have the 180 special defense with the Careful Nature, so that I can take a Choice Specs Ice Beam from Goodra at full health, and it'll leave me with 1 HP. That's with the max roll, which is ridiculous, but I built my EVs that way. And the rest is in defense, and that's enough defense that I can live 2 Ice Shards from Donphan, set up a Swords Dance, Baton Pass it out into my offensive pair for this. And then we got Earthquake because it's stab and it hits a lot of my opponent's team. Like the Lucario, which is a problem for Mary Jane, or Mega Charizard X, which is always a problem, Jolteon also. I could take it out if I have the Yachi Berry intact because Hidden Power Ice won't kill me at that range. And that's also another thing I could potentially Swords Dance on, but I'll have to play that in the match. But this thing is going to try to Baton Pass a Swords Dance. All I need is 1 boost into none other than Edelweiss and Mega Aggron, coming yet again for week 5. And this thing is running a Rock Polish Adamant offensive set. Max attack, 244 in speed means that after a Rock Polish I outspeed Jolteon and Aerodactyl, who's base 130s. and then the rest in HP because why not? It gives me an odd number, it's fine. But I need to get this thing. A Swords Dance with the Rock Polish absolutely sweeps. Rock Polish by itself does pretty close to sweeping. In fact, if I get a little chip damage, which Toxic Spikes will help, so Slytherin doing good again, then all I need is to get everything down to about 70% and I can sweep. Because the ShinRyu Pikachus has a very lightweight team, and when I say that, I mean that his Pokemon don't weigh very much. And the ones that do weigh very much get hit by Earthquake. And just to give you an example, Heavy Slam here, big fat heavy Pokemon going against little guy here. I'm getting the base 100s and base 120s most of the time on most of his team. Heavy Slam does about 75% to Azumarill, so it's a 2-hit KO on that thing. It does 80% on Superior, actually does more than Ice Punch, which is ridiculous. Heavy Slam doesn't do that much to Goodra, but Ice Punch is a 2-hit KO, even if it's running fully defense. Donphan fully defense was a 3-hit KO with Ice Punch. If it's specially defensive, it's a 2-hit. If it's offensive, it's also a 2-hit. And with Filter, I can take its Earthquakes, so I can take that thing out. Jolteon gets killed by both Heavy Slam and Earthquake. Lucario gets killed by Earthquake. Aerodactyl gets killed by Heavy Slam. It does like 400%, and Ice Punch also kills it. Dugtrio gets killed by anything that I do against it because it's got pitiful defenses. Exploud, Heavy Slam does like 70%, so that is a 2-hit KO, but I have to watch out for Specs Fire Blast because that will kill me. Same thing with Goodra, Specs Fire Blast kills me on that too. And Malamar, Heavy Slam should kill unless it's running fully defense. But the chip damage from Toxic Spikes will help. And also Mega Charizard X Earthquake will do about 75%. So that is the idea here. Get either the chip damage or get the Swords Dance, because with the Swords Dance I sweep. End of story. So I'm going to try to make that play. But that is my team. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if you think it can pull it off. What's your favorite pair of Pokemon this week? Let me know what you think. Go subscribe to my opponent, ShinRyu Johan. The ShinRyu Pikachus, coached by Johan. Subscribe to his channel. He's a great guy, great content. Great divisional rival. I can't wait to kick his ass. And I will see you this weekend when we face him. And I'm Coach Espelancer. New Staryu is rising, and we're signing out.